In UAE, the time has come to say goodbye to PDF invoices. Every business, as on today, they are making their invoices using their own accounting ERP or using Excel, converting it into PDF image format and sending to their customers by email, WhatsApp, and many other medium. That era is coming to an end. Now, what is next, which is e-invoicing? Think of a situation, the invoices you are making is reaching to Federal Tax Authority before it reached your customer. Yes, that is what going to happen once e-invoicing is live. In today's video, we are going to discuss all the details about e-invoicing and how as a business owner you should prepare your business to comply with the e-invoicing regulation. My name is Firoz. I'm CEO of Flying Color Tax Consultant and Auditing. I'm a registered FTA tax agent for VAT, excise tax, and corporate tax. First, let's understand what is e-invoicing. E-invoicing is nothing but electronic invoice. The invoice you are making from your ERP is going to be converted to a structured format and it is going to transmit your customer through an electronic channel. At the same time, Federal Tax Authority is getting a copy of your invoices. There are many terminologies like ASP, PEPAL, PIND. We are not going to get into that. That is all technical part. It will be taken care by the software companies. What we are going to discuss is to understand what is e-invoicing, what is business obligations under e-invoicing, what are the consequences if the business do not comply with e-invoicing regulations. First, let's understand what is e-invoicing. E-invoicing is nothing but electronic invoice. The invoice, what you are making, is converting into a structured format, and that invoice is automatically getting communicated to your customer, and a copy is sent to the Federal Tax Authority. You don't need to send the invoice. This will be automatically communicated to your customer. How this is working, as a business, you need to appoint a technology partner, which is called Accredited Service Provider, and it is their job to convert your invoice into the structured format, which is XML or JSON format, and communicate to your customer. UAE has adopted a 5-corner model where in the corner 1, if you are a supplier, you are sitting in the corner 1, and your accredited service provider is sitting in the corner 2, and your customer's accredited service provider is sitting at corner 3, and your customer is sitting at corner 4, and UAE Federal Tax Authority is sitting at corner 5. It's a decentralized model UAE is following. Unlike KSA, KSA has a centralized model that the moment any business make any invoice, it is going to the ZATCA's portal and the ZATCA is giving clearance to the invoice. Here, Federal Tax Authority is not giving any clearance to the invoice. Federal Tax Authority is just receiving the copy for their audit purpose. Every business should appoint the accredited service provider. Now you may be getting this question, should my business also appoint an accredited service provider? Where I can find them? How I should communicate with them? We are going to discuss that. First of all, accredited service providers list are published by Ministry of Finance. Before getting into a judgment, there is no final list. As on today of recording this video, there are only 9 accredited service providers who got pre-approval from Ministry of Finance. Their final approvals are still pending. Ever since the cabinet decision is published on e-invoicing, every business have this question in their mind that should my business also comply with e-invoicing? Many of the businesses in UAE are not VAT registered. Example, there could be many businesses who are into high sea sale. They are not bringing any goods into UAE. There are many businesses in UAE where they are below the VAT registration threshold. All these companies should comply with the e-invoicing requirement. The answer is, as long as they conduct the B2B transaction, which is business to business transaction, all the businesses are coming into the scope of e-invoicing. Ministry of Finance has clarified that business to consumer transaction, which is B2C transactions, are currently outside the scope of e-invoicing. They may bring business to consumer transactions in the future, but at the moment they clarified that B2C transactions are not in the scope of e-invoicing. This answer to the question that any business registered in UAE, regardless they are VAT registered or not, they have to comply with the e-invoicing regulations as long as they conduct any sort of B2B transactions. With that understanding that all businesses who are into business to business transactions and business to government transactions must comply with the e-invoicing requirements. Now let's understand when it is becoming mandatory for businesses to appoint the accredited service provider and start doing e-invoicing. UAE Ministry of Finance has clarified that the e-invoicing is going to implement in UAE in two phases, majorly in two phases. So there are government entities also who are coming into the e-invoicing requirement. We are not going to touch upon the government entities. We are primarily focusing on the businesses in the UAE. The two phases, phase one is applicable for businesses who are earning a revenue more than 50 million dirhams in a year. So any business who earn more than 50 million dirhams in a year, they have to appoint the accredited service provider before 1st July 2026. And they have to start doing e-invoicing from 1/1/2027. Now, what about those businesses who are making below 50 million dirhams? Are they outside the scope of e-invoicing? No. They are in phase two. They have to appoint the accredited service provider before 1st March 2027, and they have to start live of e-invoicing from 1st January 2027. Now let me explain to you certain misconception in the market regarding e-invoicing. Misconception number one, that my business is not VAT registered and I don't need to comply with the e-invoicing requirement. The answer is no. If your business is conducting any business to business transaction, you must comply with the e-invoicing requirement. Second misconception, that once e-invoicing is implemented, the VAT returns will be auto-populated. Not at the moment, maybe in the future. The main reason the VAT return will not be auto-populated because business to consumer transactions are not in the VAT e-invoicing requirement. So once the business to consumer transaction, B2C transactions are also in the e-invoicing requirement, maybe in future the VAT returns will be auto-populated. Third misconception is that the accredited service provider will take care of the VAT requirement. Absolutely wrong. Accredited service provider's job role is to convert your invoices into a structured format and communicate to Federal Tax Authority, communicate to your customer. They are not going to check your VAT treatment, whether your invoice is standard rated, zero rated, exempted, or out of scope. They are not going to check your date of supply. They are not going to check your place of supply. They are just a software company. Let's discuss as a business owner what you should do at this point of time when the UAE is digitally transforming to e-invoicing. First thing, you have to appoint an accredited service provider. Before appointing an accredited service provider, make sure that your data is clean. You need to check that your current ERP or your current data system is aligning with the e-invoicing requirement. As per the current tax procedure, when you make a tax invoice, there are 16 mandatory fields. But with the introduction of e-invoicing, the 16 mandatory fields are going to be increased to 50 for standard tax invoices and 52 for commercial invoices. So all the data which are required to create an e-invoice, you must make sure that your current data is aligning with that. If not, you need to conduct a gap analysis and make sure that your data is clean. Let me explain to you, every business can voluntarily start e-invoicing from 1st July 2026. I highly recommend for the business owners to start doing voluntarily so that when it becomes mandatory, you are going to be at the correct position, because implementation of e-invoicing may not be easy. You need to see your current data points, your invoicing methods. You need to conduct a gap analysis to understand your current data is aligning with the e-invoicing requirement. There could be a lot of work. So if you are waiting for the last moment to appoint your accredited service provider and start doing e-invoicing, maybe you have the wrong understanding on these things. Every country, if you check, be it Latin American countries or our neighbor country, which is KSA, Singapore, Malaysia, all these countries who brought e-invoicing, implementation is challenging. So do not wait for till the last moment. Do the gap analysis, understand your current data, clean your data, talk to an accredited service provider, appoint them, do the testing, and then make sure that you are in the right place when the things become mandatory. Now let's understand what are all the consequences if a business do not comply with the e-invoicing requirement. It's not about penalty. Please keep in mind, it's not only about penalty. So far, in the UAE, whatever the tax regulations, tax procedure law, in case if you do not comply with the tax regulations, you are end up paying penalties. But keep in mind, e-invoicing non-compliance will stop your business. Think of a situation, you are sending an invoice, a PDF invoice, and your customer is not ready to pay until you give a proper e-invoice. Why your customer will not pay you? Because your customer cannot claim the input VAT unless as a supplier you give an invoice. Second thing, for corporate tax also, maybe the authority will take a position that the e-invoicing is not done. Then in that case, the expense cannot be considered as an expense for the corporate tax purpose. Customer will not pay until they get an invoice because they can neither claim the VAT input nor claim the expenses for corporate tax. It's not only about penalty, it can literally stop your business. Now, is this the only situation? The answer is no. There are penalties. The authority told if you don't appoint the accredited service provider on time, there is a penalty of 5,000 dirhams. If you don't do e-invoicing, per document, there is a penalty of 100 dirhams and it is capped monthly maximum 5,000 dirhams. There are penalties already announced by the authority through the decision, but it's not only about penalty, it can literally stop your business. Finally, as a business owner, what you need to do at this point of time to comply with the e-invoicing? Do you need to appoint an accredited service provider, or do you need to start doing e-invoicing? Any business who want to voluntarily start doing e-invoicing, they can do it voluntarily with effect from 1st July 2026. Maybe for your business, which is below 50 million dirhams, your mandatory obligation is starting from 1st July 2027. 1 year before, which is 1st July 2026, you have an option to start it voluntarily. You can appoint your accredited service provider. Why you need to do it? It is very important because implementation of e-invoicing is not easy. There are many examples in many countries who have already implemented the e-invoicing. They have faced a lot of challenges while the implementation stage. Why they are facing challenge? The main reason is due to the data issues. The current data what you are having, the current ERP what you are maintaining, it may not be supporting, or the data points may not be supporting to the e-invoicing requirement. You have to do a gap analysis, understand what is the issue in your data, clean it, do a test. It may take a lot of time. Do not wait until the last minute of making it mandatory. And as I told, it's not only about penalty, it can literally stop your business. Thank you for watching this video. You can reach out to me in case if you require any help in understanding more about e-invoicing, doing the gap analysis, appointing the accredited service provider. We as a company Flying Color, we are an FTA approved tax agency. We can help you to make sure that your business is complying with the e-invoicing requirement from day one and not facing any legal penalties or any complication in your business operation. Thank you.